today you join me in Tropoja, which is in the north of Albania. I have come on a trip to Albania because this is where my dad is from, where my family is from, and we have come to the mountains in the north of Albania. Valbona is like the specific area, and this is where my dad was born, where he grew up, and it's such a beautiful area. We've just arrived. We left really early this morning. We drove from Tirana, the capital, and the drive, I mean, my dad said it was supposed to take 4 hours, but we stopped along the way at various places and it ended up taking more like 6 hours. So it's been a long drive up some very rocky, narrow roads that literally border along the side of the mountain. So my sister and I were quite scared about tipping off and tumbling to our death, but my dad is luckily a good driver, so that did not happen. But look at the view from the house. This is the house that is built on the exact spot where my dad's family home was when he grew up. So they've built a new house on the same land. So it's really moving to be back in this place. I mean, I say back. I visited once before in the area, but I've never been to this exact spot. So it's amazing. And the view from the terrace here over the mountains is stunning. And my dad was pointing out to me the view from here and like saying stories about his childhood and growing up here. So it's really beautiful. And this is what it looks like. It's honestly so stunning. So at the bottom here you can see this flatter ground where they grow a lot of things, and then there's a mountain that comes out up here that's really beautiful. My dad was telling me apparently as a boy he used to look after the sheep, like a shepherd I suppose, and this is where he used to take them up there to be out of the way of the food that they were growing. And then there, I don't know if you can see the blue, I'll zoom in a bit on the camera, but that's the Valbona river. And it leads, so it like runs along here, and then behind this mountain, which you can't really see here, there is a big lake that it runs into. But it's so beautiful, it's stunning. And the house itself is really beautiful as well. It's built out of stone, it's really rustic and traditional. And they've done a really good job here. They also still grow things here. They have beehives. So they have a shop in Tirana, the capital, where they sell honey that they produce on their old land. So they have beehives. I think you can probably see them from here actually. I'm not going to go too close because I'm not wearing like beekeeping clothes and I don't want to be stung. I know my uncle and my dad have gone out there now and they put on the special like nets over their heads to be able to deal with the bees. There they are. I think you can see my uncle working on the beehives at the moment as well. And then they have lots of different plants around here as well. For example, I've seen like grapevines, and they have some tomato plants, peppers, all sorts of things growing around here. And yes, it's really beautiful. I'm excited to spend the day here. We'll actually be going back to Tirana tomorrow, so we're not staying here for too long because I'm not in Albania for that long, and also tomorrow there's a football match and we're going to watch it, so that's partly the reason why we're going back so soon. But yeah, it's just so nice to finally see here and to see the place where my dad grew up. It's just so moving. The drive to Tropoja was very scenic. It was a long drive, but the route passed through the mountains, so I enjoyed looking at the view out of the car window and admiring the landscapes. On the route from Tirana to Tropoja, we actually passed the border into Kosovo, and we stopped at a bakery for some lunch because my uncle said that they make the best byrek. Byrek is a traditional Albanian pastry that can have different fillings like spinach or cheese, and we had a meat one, and it was really good. Another stop we made along the way was at another bakery to pick up some phyllo pastry. My family often makes homemade byrek, which they use this pastry for. For example, my grandmother made some with a pumpkin filling while I was there, and I have to admit that her homemade byrek will always be my favourite. This bakery has been passed down in the same family for generations, and I enjoyed watching them at work, making the pastry the same way that it has always been made. During the last leg of the journey, you could really start to tell that we were heading somewhere very rural. I have been to Tropoja once before as a child, and compared to then, the roads today are much better. Nonetheless, the last 15 minutes of the drive were spent on dirt tracks that were really narrow and bumpy, and I would be lying if I said that I wasn't a tad scared at this point of the drive that we were going to fall off the edge of the mountain. However, we all made it there in one piece, and the long drive was definitely worth it. And then now I'm inside the house, and basically upstairs there's this really cool room. someone started like a tractor or something outside. But basically, there's a really cool room that's done up in the style of an old traditional Albanian living room. So you can see behind me, there's all these carpets and kind of cushions that are laid out a bit like sofas. And this is basically how living rooms used to be in Albania. So this was the main table where they would have their meals or put out coffee for guests, and they'd be laid on a carpet which is kind of done in this traditional pattern. And then around the edges there are these cushions that people would sit on. And I think it's really sweet that they've recreated this old style Albanian sofa, and you'd basically sit on it and just cross your legs, and that's how you'd sit in your living room. So it's quite a cool bit of culture, and I really love that they've tried to keep tradition alive in this house. So it's really done in a beautiful style. Obviously, like I said, it's modernised compared to their old house, but they've got old exposed stone walls, and then the ceilings are also exposed wooden beams. And yeah, it's really beautiful. And here on the fireplace you can see there's another traditional rug, and there's some traditional items like this instrument. I mean, I think this is more of a decorative piece that mimics the instrument, because normally there'd be some strings on here. So this is a chiftali, and it has 2 strings, and it looks a little bit like a guitar and the way it's played, but obviously it's not a guitar. It's kind of higher pitched and it's traditional in Albanian music, and this is what this kind of resembles. And in this box, I don't know if it's still burning or not, I don't think so. No, it's run out. But there was a lavender incense that my uncle put in here, and it looks more like an egg shape. It's not a traditional incense, like a stick one. And he burnt it and put it in here, and it has lavender for the scent, and I think as well to keep out like insects and things. So that's quite traditional. And this kind of metalwork as well, it's really beautiful. So yeah. It was my first time visiting the family home in Tropoja, but I really enjoyed staying there. The pace of life is slow here. There's not much nearby, not even many houses, so you are just surrounded by nature. The calm and the fresh mountain air are good for the soul. You feel like you can just breathe and find peace. There is nothing like going out to pick some fresh fruit and eating them directly, and even better when they are drizzled with honey, produced just outside the front door. Everything on this land is grown organically, and with love. I got a real sense that my family is attached to the land that they grew up on, and still feel a connection to it. Despite moving away to the city, they still come back. Upon arriving, I spent some time just sitting outside, looking out over the mountains and soaking it all in. Then my great-uncle brought out the quad bike and took me for a ride, before teaching me how to drive it myself, which was a lot of fun. It is definitely much easier to drive a quad bike than a normal car around here, and after practicing on the driveway, he took me down to the orchards for me to have a proper ride. For a walk with my dad down to the land where my family has their walnut trees and like grapevines and everything. It's really nice. The view from here is stunning over the mountains behind me, and I've been trying some of the grapes as well. They're so sweet, they're really good, and yeah, just enjoying a nice evening stroll. earlier I was in the fields below the house where they have the walnut trees, the grapevines, which I showed you earlier. And here I've come to the ground above the house, and behind me there's some fig trees, apple trees. I'm quite hot after walking uphill, so I've taken my hoodie off. And there's also the ruins here. This is quite cool. These are the ruins of my great-grandparents' house. So my dad's dad lived here. And it's literally just the land above the house. You can see the roof of the house over there. Sorry if I'm a bit out of breath. I've been walking uphill. But yes, it's stunning. And all the stone used both for this house and the newer one are quarried from the land that's just around here as well. So literally everything is local. My dad's picking fruit as we go along, apples, figs, grapes, just getting me to try everything. And it's so nice. It's honestly such a peaceful way of living. It's so lovely. Now I'm walking kind of dangerously on the edge of this terrace, but behind me there are loads of kiwi trees, like all the way along here. And then behind me, lower down on the terrace, there were also strawberry plants growing, although they're out of season because they're already gone. And here is a pomegranate tree. And there's the fruit growing there. Okay, my dad just said apparently this is what they use for making hay bales. So up there in the distance, I don't know if you can see there, there's another one that's already made, but basically when they cut the grass they stack the hay onto this, which is really cool. I didn't know that. And that's another one of the hay bales over there as an example. Hello, so I've just driven, well I haven't driven, my dad drove us this morning from Tropoja down to Tirana again, and we came straight to this restaurant called, wait, my cousin will tell you what it's called. What is this place called?
Kazerma.
Because otherwise I'm not going to pronounce it correctly.
It's a really difficult name.
It's Kazerma Cerenit.
Okay, so basically it's a restaurant that's built inside a renovated old like military base. So it's really cool, really beautifully done. And we've just eaten so much. I feel like I have a food baby in my stomach right now.
Here.
Yeah, and you can see that there's we're walking in this area where there's ducks and there's like these tents, military style. It's really cool. But the food was so good. It's all like traditional Albanian food, but it's organic. They grow a lot of the food here, so you can see like the kind of farmland area, and it was just really good quality. And we ate so much.
Yeah. Like, hi, I'm 34 weeks today.
Literally, my stomach is popping out my dress. And you can see here as well. Yeah, there's like kind of an old van thing and
Like
military
an old
relics.
Cave, where soldiers would enter.
I think it's like a bunker or something.
Yeah, a bunker.
And then I think like the restaurant's in the old barracks, but it's really cool here. What did you think of the place?
I loved it. I loved it. It's so beautiful.
And it was nice to be with all the family because there were so many of us.
Yeah,
We had this table reserved.
We were like maybe nearly 30 people.
There. Yeah, literally the whole table was massive the whole way along the restaurant.
We kept asking the waiter for more chairs.
We just kept asking.
Oh, we got some fuel for school tomorrow, right?
No. No.
Yeah, because my cousins all start school tomorrow. I still have...
Can't relate. We're university
Yeah, us
here.
two are at university, so the sun is like the wrong way around. We should be standing this way around.
So lucky.
Can't see anything. But yeah, they're starting school, but we are at university, so we have a little bit longer.
Yeah,
I only have like...
I'm so lucky.
I only have like a week longer, so I can't really gloat too much, but...
I have a month, so...
Oh, look at the horse.
Oh yeah.
Lucky me.
Wait, let's see if I can zoom into the horse. I mean, I think you can only see its butt from here. Yeah. Like its tail. But yeah.
Beautiful butt.
Big bunda.
Yeah.
That's offensive.
But yeah, I feel like it was nice to have the meal today though, because it's like a end of summer celebratory family meal.
like we had lots of fun.
Yeah. And we took a massive family photo outside. Actually, we took loads of photos. I feel like we stood for a good 15 minutes just taking turns, taking photos together.
Because we were a lot of people, so we just took turns with
Look
families.
at the treehouse.
Yeah, and there's like
it's so
tents.
beautiful.
Do people camp here? Like, is it a campsite as well?
I think yeah.
I don't know if you're allowed in.
I want to go.
I will link the restaurant we ate at, Kazerma I Cerenit, down below if you are looking for places to eat or even to stay in Tirana, because it was honestly amazing. It is the first Albanian green agro-tourism business in the Western Balkans, and it's built with 100% renewable energy produced through on-site solar panels. All the food was high quality and delicious, and they offer traditional dishes such as byrek, fli, kofte and turshi, so it's a great place to go for trying Albanian cuisine. The place dates back to 1975, when it was used by the Ministry of Defence, and it has only been recently opened in January 2023 after its renovation, which is aimed to keep it as close to the original as possible. They also have a farm with plants and livestock, which produces fresh ingredients to be used in the restaurant. It was so nice to be able to gather so many family members together for a meal, and to be able to share culture through food.
Horse attacked us.
We're walking and there's a horse. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so cute.
It came for me, guys. It came for me.
And Isla, my other cousin.
Horse got beef with Becky and Isla.
So it was just walking along, minding its own business, and then suddenly, I'm not even joking, it breaks into a sprint and comes coming at us, and then it like comes into a corner and it turns around and goes the other way, but it's so funny.
But I thought somebody was going to get like crushed by the horse.
Oh yeah, and it's funny because just before it started running, I was asking one of my cousins, like, are you scared of the horse? They're like, no, not when not really, and then it runs and then we're all scared, so it's very ironic. But yeah. We've come to the Poland versus Albania football game already. We're all kitted out in our clothes. She's got a beautiful flag on, and everyone is waiting outside the stadium. The energy is actually crazy. It's people singing in the streets everywhere. It's just a lot of fun. So we've just come out the game and Albania won, so we are the winners. It was actually a really fun game, and none of us have been to a football match before, so this was our first time. We're not like major football fans, but it was just a lot of fun, and
so fun.
And obviously we won.
Definitely something we'll never forget.
Yeah, and it's the night before they start school, so not to bring it up again, but
it could have been better. Could have not been better. Sorry.
Yeah, so it was just like a good celebration, and because we won, obviously we're all very happy. Hello, so today I've come to the town of Krujë, which is like a small Albanian village town, like a market town. It's got cobbled streets, it's really traditional and beautiful, and I've come here to walk around with my family to see the stalls, maybe get a few bits for my apartment back in Italy, and just to explore the area, and I'm really excited to walk around. Krujë finds its name from the Albanian word krujë, meaning spring, after the fresh water coming from the mountains. It is located in north-central Albania, just 20 kilometers from Tirana, and is actually the former capital of the country. Historically, Krujë developed an identity connected to trade due to its location at the meeting point of roads connecting north, south, east and west, and is still known for its ancient bazaar today. The bazaar, also known as byrek, was built at the same time as the adjacent castle in the 12th century. It is truly a feast for the eyes to walk along its cobbled streets because there's just so much to take in. All of the handmade objects, antiques, traditional clothes and rugs. I just didn't know where to look first. What drew my attention was watching crafters at work, because there were people making traditional felt hats or working on looms, and it was very impressive to see these traditional crafts continued today. Krujë became the first capital of the Albanian state in 1190, and then the capital of the Kingdom of Albania, later conquered by the Ottoman Empire at the beginning of the 15th century, to be recaptured in 1443 by Skanderbeg, the national hero. Skanderbeg became the leader of Krujë and an important figure for all of Europe because he created a defensive barrier to resist the Ottomans and stop them from accessing the rest of Europe, thus defending Christianity for 25 years. I really enjoyed visiting this town. It was probably one of the highlights of my trip, so I would definitely recommend adding it to your list of things to do if you ever travel to Albania.
Hello, so it's evening now. We've come out for a sushi night. It's my last night in Albania, and I'm with a lot of my cousins. Not everyone, because there's a lot of us, but a lot of us are together. So say hi, everyone. Hi. Say hi.
Hi. Hello. Hello. Cheers. Even if it's like empty.
What did you think of the sushi?
Amazing.
Nice. That's such an underwhelming reaction.
I like the chicken one.
Yeah, we had sushi, we had like different Japanese food like pancakes, bao buns. It was really good. Yeah, and it's a great way to have the last night here, to be honest. So yeah, I'm sad to be leaving.
I don't wanna think too much. I can take my time, no rush. I ain't got no plans for the evening. Maybe we should think about linking. Go to the movies, chill in the park. Play on the swings, don't play with my heart. See a museum, heard you like the arts. Promise there'll be no shock. Do you wanna?
Hello, so as you can see I am back home in Mantua, and I was actually really sad to leave Albania because it was so nice seeing my family. It had been a long time since I'd last seen them, and I was there for 12 days, but honestly I did so much that the time flew by so fast because I was constantly busy, constantly going out. My dad had so much planned for me and my sister to do because he was so excited to show us around his country and help us explore his culture, and yes, it was a lot of fun. I think you saw in the last bit of footage, I went out for a sushi night with my cousins on my last night there, which was really good because they had this restaurant they recommended to me and my sister when we first arrived, and then we thought it would be fun to have that as the end of my trip, like a goodbye dinner, and also as a dinner to celebrate them completing their first day back at school, so it was a bit like everyone celebrating. It was really fun. And then we went for a walk around Tirana at night together, which was fun as well. And yes, the last trip that I went on was to Krujë as well, which was the most beautiful market village in the mountains right outside Tirana. So it's, I think it was an hour's drive to get there. And I thought I would show you a little haul of what I got as well, because I got some really pretty things I'm excited to decorate my apartment with. So first of all, I'll just show you, actually this isn't really to decorate my apartment, but I'll show you the other things I got as well. So I've got some little kind of purses that are done in a traditional style, mimicking kind of like carpets, and they do handmade carpets in that town. And yeah, I also have a bookmark that's kind of similar. So I'll use this a lot because I have loads of bookmarks I have when I'm reading. And in my collection, I do go through all the different bookmarks that I own because I like to choose one that matches the front cover of the book, which might sound odd, but I want it all to be aesthetic, and this one's really beautiful, so I'm excited to use this. And the pouches are useful for anything like for storing jewellery or when you're travelling, for keeping little things like hairbands in. I'm always using these, so I thought they were cheap, so I got 2 of them. And then I have this little trinket box, which I'm going to put on my cupboard on the side in the living room because I feel like it matches the other things I have there. And it's in the shape of a pomegranate, and I love the detailing on this. It's so stunning, and the colour matches other things that I have on there already, so I thought it would be perfect. And it opens up like this, and my family had pomegranate trees on their land in Tropoja in the mountains, so this will remind me of when I went there, and I just love pomegranates, so I thought this was really cute. And then what else have I got? I also bought this vintage cup, which is kind of like a porcelain style, and I like the picture of the town on it, and it's got like gold detailing on it. It's really pretty, and I think it's like proper china. So yeah, I like this. This was really cheap as well. They had a few antique stores, and honestly, if I had a big suitcase, there were some things that I really loved, like some big vases and things I would have loved to buy because they were so stunning, but I was running out of space in my suitcase as it is, and my dad had to buy like one of those carry-on bags for me to bring in extra stuff home because I just didn't have the space in my suitcase. It was already packed to the brim when I went to Albania. So yeah, I didn't buy anything big, but that is really cute, and I feel like it's really my style, so I got that. And the last things I got are some tablecloths, because I had really beautiful tablecloths, and I thought it would be really nice to put it on my dining table that's behind me. So I've got this one, which looks like this, and everything is all handmade. It's honestly such a great place to go if you're going to Albania and looking for gifts, because in the capital everything's more, I don't know, not the best quality, and I feel like it's a bit more commercial, whereas there they had really beautiful items and at a reasonable price too, although if you don't speak Albanian they do potentially rip you off a bit. I feel like that's a worse problem in the capital than in Krujë, but still we got my dad to do the talking because otherwise they do charge a bit more. But yeah, it's got beautiful like, what do you call it, ribbon, flowers and lace, and I love this one so much. So I've got this one, which is kind of like a square, and then I have another one here, which came as a set. I only wanted the tablecloth because I didn't think I needed like placemats, and I just love this one. This one's more of a cross stitch, and then it's got lace on the edges, and I just love this. So I think this will also be really nice. And like I said, I just wanted the tablecloth, but it came as a set with 2 placemats, and I don't really use placemats, but since there's 2, I thought these would look cute on my bedside tables because there's one on either side of the bed, so I thought this could go on there and it would look pretty because at the moment they're quite bare, and I feel like this will just add a bit of character to my bedroom, so I'll probably place those there. And yeah, that's everything I got in Krujë. And that was probably one of my favourite places I visited in Albania because like the original narrow cobbled streets, the market, shops, it was just stunning. It was so pretty, and there's views of mountains in the background as well. I just loved walking around there, and I had lunch with my grandmother, my dad and my sister. We went to a restaurant that was there and we had a pizza. So the restaurant was decorated really prettily as well, so it was just such a lovely day. And yes, I hope you enjoyed my vlogs from Albania. It's something a bit different, and for those of you who maybe aren't as familiar with that country, I hope that you enjoyed exploring it through my vlogs. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel to join me on more adventures. Now that I'm back living in Mantua, I will be sharing more of this city and vlogging my time here as well. I actually start university tomorrow, so that will be exciting. I'm excited to meet people on my course, make friends and go out with them, and yes, really start this next chapter in my life properly. And yes, I will see you very soon with more videos. Bye!